Okay, so here we have that same data from the table about how the marching band was marching, but now we've put the points on this graph. So 1, 260, 2, 520, 3, 7, I forget what it was. This one was 1040. But what we did on the table is we took the change in the y and we compared it to the change in the x, and that was our rate of change. On a graph, we think of it as slope, and the slope is going to be the change in the y, or the vertical change, divided by the change in the x, which is the horizontal change. And to make that easy to remember and kind of snappy, we call it rise over run. How far did you go to the right? How far did you go up or down? We always go to the right. So that's critical. We always go to the right. We might go up, we might go down, but we always go to the right. So using that idea, we can find the rate of change, or the slope, by looking at a graph. Let's look at an example of how to do that. So here we have two lines. Let's find the slope. So over the first one, we're going to look at the run, and you can see they've given us 2 points on this line. So we're going to look at the run and the rise. And in this case, the run is going from -3 to +2, which is a distance of 5. So that's going to be on the bottom. And the rise is going from 1 up to 3, which is a distance of 2. So my slope is 2 over 5. Sometimes we use the letter M here too. Okay, let's look at the other one. It's very slightly different, but again, we've got the 2 points they gave us, 1, 2, and here I've got my rise and run. Let me mark them really quickly. All right, so my run is I don't like the way I drew that. Let me draw it differently. All right, so my run, I'm going to draw it up here because it, I think, makes more sense, is how far? -3 to +3. That's a run of 6. And my rise, well, my rise is actually going down. So that is -2. So that's why it's important to remember that you're always going to the right, because starting from this point, going to the right and then up or down is going to make sure that you don't get a positive slope when you should be getting a negative slope. This slope is -2 over 6, which is, of course, the same as -1/3. That's our slope. And Right, it's important that it's negative. So if we're going from left to right, if we're going up, this is positive. If we're going down, this is positive. And going down, this is going to be a negative slope. And there are more robust ways to make sure you get the slope correct. And we'll look at that in a second too. But for right now, just use the graph, go right to left, and make your slopes. So there's a couple problems for you to practice that on the next slide. Give it a shot, and then we'll take a look at the next thing.